a teammate rivalry returned, a new 2026 driver has potentially been confirmed, and the Minister of Defence made a surprise appearance at Zandvoort. The F1 Academy races at Zandvoort were a perfect example of why I love watching this series. So here is everything that you need to know about what went down. Firstly, it was a weekend of rivalries. This is the third round this season, bearing in mind that we've only had 5 rounds so far, where I have noticed something weird going on with the team radios for Gademan and Houseman about each other. To be fair, this one was less peculiar. Gademan was saying that Houseman is making too many mistakes, and this preceded a tight battle between the two drivers during race 2. Ironically, it was the complete opposite during race 1. Houseman DNF'd due to a driver error, whilst Gademan went on to win her first race in F1 Academy, and this was also her home race. And then there was more of a weekend rivalry between Chong and Larson. They made contact during race 1, which led to Larson picking up a 10-second penalty. Meanwhile, in race 2, they had an incredibly close battle, and Larson was pulling out some very interesting moves. And based on Larson's performance throughout the weekend, I do think she might be one to watch. Moving on to Lloyd, she was definitely the Minister of Defence throughout both races. The girl was putting in a shift, and she gave us some spicy battles with Verg and Chambers. So it was a shame that she picked up a 5-second penalty for a false start infringement. With Verg, she was the other Leicester flag race winner, and this was also her home race. But I felt like it was actually race 1 where she shone more. For the entire 17 laps, she was on the attack, and she was doing it very cleanly. But at the same time, it was forcing other drivers to make moves that put them at risk. And one of those drivers was Pan, the championship leader. She lost places in race 1, and in race 2, she didn't make any places. However, she has maintained her 20-point gap, and she's also maintained her streak for getting points in every single race this season. Also, I want to give a shout out to Aurelia Nobles because she made up so many places this weekend, but yet again, she was affected by things that were completely out of her control, so I don't feel like it looks as if she did as well as she actually did. And finally for the drivers is Kosterman, who is the first wildcard this season to score points, as she was another driver who made many overtakes, and as we know, drivers who do well as a wildcard often end up in a seat next year, so potentially we could be seeing her next season. Now I don't normally do this, but I do want to give the circuit a bit of praise. It forced drivers to make some interesting moves, which kept things very exciting. And I noticed that there seemed to be a lot more fans in the stands than normal.